pop.
Exclusive beat.
Brabby, why you taking? Oh, man, picking anything. Okay, get my Brabby, bottle water, like drink. When I bottle water, I want in my big let's stay. Oh, Brabby. How can you know that you not know I put it? When you say NZ, you must alley exclusive. Love is sweet and sure I know. So I enjoy my life. Because anytime I can go. Leave you and leave me, let me do me.
The other weekend I will enjoy myself. The way they be in the start going, I will feel myself. My money I'm finished, but I'm moving yourself.
So I hate the club. People were dancing, but I choose to say myself because I went there for something. Then I saw the fan get what king, I won't go ask it. I say let me try my luck and see. Maybe she agree. And I cry I come to see someone who I let them holler. So I talk to myself, let it be your man. Mamu fair you go be your man, you go be your man.
So I walk out the door, I say fan get hello, what you doing? She say fan, what you drinking? She say shinta, I say partner like your 10. She like wow. Nete thank you.
Baby, don't thank me, you deserve it. Oh, queen, yeah, you deserve it. When you want some more, I provide it. So we start to talk. Come on, son, going deep and deeper. Putting thought to each chicken. Be like living sense in her brain. Anything I thought like, baby, let go now. She say, we going to my heart. She say, where Panavero? She say,
She agree from waiting down. Oh, we are now. I want operate. Choose I'm gonna blind little door. Me when I get it down. Oh,
when she talking for a jet, I thought I was a joke. When I go back there again, she thought I think I thing again. I won't force it. But when I force it, man, that rape, that crime will go to jail. So I play my cool, I choose to leave it. When I go, I will chill happy. I will go to PP, I will chill happy. I thought that is a hero.
Take brain and she go on and she call me on my phone. Oh baby, I'm gonna send my mobile money no more. You send me money, I'm calling pepper soup.
I'm gonna send it or I'm gonna send it. I stay there, I won't send it, but I choose to send it. So I thought I say text me the number, I will send it. Then I send it. More she call me, said to say thank you. I say let me call her to confirm it. Then I call, she said she receive it. Then she order phone for my ear. Jaletta. Then I call her back, she say, how I never back. Minute later she text me again. I'm gonna send her dollar card.
I didn't take me a bit. Anyway, I sent all the card again. I did not nothing. I sent it.
We gon' pass again. Me and her then we follow again. I look at her, she look at me. I was passing by her, then she hold my hand. She say, speak to me and you not make no palaver. I said, speak at first. She said, play alone. What your story? I say, I get story. She say, let's pray together now. I say, you and who? Believe me, man.
At the end of the day, we stay sitting together. We had the same conversation. We chill the same way again. She agreed to follow me. Now again, my crib.
Yeah, so we hit my crib. She said, get me water, let me pay. She came from the bathroom with towel all around her waist. Then she lay down on the bed. I'm gonna lay down too. And I make her move. When she can say, hey man, I enjoy myself, I can go to bed, I enjoy myself. I really enjoy myself.
Since she left the crib, I'm called, mom passed by, she called me. Oh baby, why begin call me again? I said nothing. Oh, say you going out to that? I said no, I'll be busy. Oh, if you say that thing one day, you already get it now. So you'll be bad. I said no, baby, they're not here. I really busy.
Good afternoon, folks. Good afternoon. Welcome to this edition of the program, The Heat. And it's on Cool 91.9 on this wonderful 26th day in the month of March. Welcome, folks. I'll say good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome. And I'm WEEKIE Broke City in for your usual host and presenter, Jonathan B. Vaz Sr. And I'd like to say welcome, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, based on you watching us from whatever part of the world you found yourselves and listening to a Value Radio on this wonderful Friday afternoon. And it promises, as usual, to be great with all of the major headlines and the major talking point on this wonderful Friday. Welcome. This is The Heat. And you can certainly leave out of your comment this afternoon on our Cool Online 2 page. We'll certainly read it out for you. And later on the program, the lines will be activated and you will have a say on some of the hard talking segment this wonderful day as we get it on to you at the doorsteps. Information on Cool Now. This is The Heat, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1:30 p.m. as usual. Welcome, folks. Let's get started this afternoon with some of the major headlines in Liberia as we talk here on this wonderful U.S. lawmaker. We as governments corrupt from day one. Yes, this is the representative of the state of New Jersey 44th District at the United States Congress. Chris Smith has accused President George Weah of running a kleptocratic government that is knocking the covers of the country to the ground. Congressman Smith, who is a Republican and is a member of the House Committee on Foreign Affairs and a ranking member on the Subcommittee on Africa, Global Health, Global Human Rights and International Organization, blamed President Weah for the high rate of poverty in the country by using his political power to appropriate wealth of the country through embezzling or misappropriating government funds at the expense of the wider population. That's coming from the U.S. Congressman, referring to the government of President George Weah as being corrupt. The political leader of the Alternative National Congress, Alexander B. Cummings, arrives in the northern Liberian town of Vonchepan, which is in Lofa County, on Thursday for a 2-day working visit. Was immediately honored at the Lutheran Church there. Mr. Cummings, a former Coca-Cola factory executive, is touring the country along with his wife, Mrs. Teresa Cummings, at the head of a high-powered delegation. At the same time, the political leader of the ANC, Alexander B. Cummings, currently paying a visit there in the Lofa County, have said the arrest of Mo Ali, Secretary General of the Unity Party, who was earlier on released this morning, and Deputy SG of the CPP is provocative and recipe for chaos. See this as a recipe for chaos. He's condemned the issue of Mo Ali, who is the Liberty Party, Unity Party Secretary General. Alexander Cummings termed it as a recipe of chaos in the country. Foreign Minister of Liberia, D. Maswe Kenya Sr. had disclosed that President George Weah is supportive of the proposed schedule for the date of the Mano River Year Summit, which is expected to be hosted in Monrovia from May 20 to the 30th. Indeed, according to the Foreign Ministry release, Minister Kenya made the disclosure recently when the Secretary General of the Monrovia Year, MRU Ambassador Madina Wiza, paid him a courtesy call to discuss issues relating to the Monrovia Basin. At the same time, with the very ministry, Liberia Foreign Minister D. Maswa Kimion Sr. had announced the resumption of vector services for application to obtain apposite letter of authentication, lease of passes, and article of incorporation with which will boost the government revenues generation, having closed a general black market that he says deprive government of needed resources. In Babolu County, President George Weah briefly departed from his usual response to citizen requests in Babolu County on Thursday, doing the town hall meeting with Ed Hide Senate on motorcyclist and put a representative Kanye Wetsu of Babolu County on the spot for calling First Lady Claudia, Mrs. Clara Williams. President Weah narrated that that he and his wife have been married for over 21 years and has not divorced. So for Representative Kanye West to call her Mrs. Williams, he needed to correct that before moving on. Mr. Weah, a former campaigner for commercial motorcyclists to be allowed to ply major streets in Monrovia, said. And more to come this wonderful afternoon from Liberia. Out of Liberia, before we get back to this country, let's move down to what's happening in other countries across Africa. Next, go to Sierra Leone, where residents described the scene as a poor neighborhood in Sierra Leone capital Freetown was gutted late Wednesday by fire. Authorities in the city said the death toll is unclear, but thousands may have been affected by the inferno. And the fire started from the seaside, coming with heavy winds. Why? Fire was also in progress. A change, according to the information from Sierra Leone. Blockade in Egypt's Suez Canal cost estimated $9 billion worth of goods daily. In several EU looks at way to send aid to Vinity slum by this week. Congo opposition leader Kulari death related to COVID-19 infections, according to report from that part of the world. And in Africa Cup of Nations qualifier, with Egypt, Comoros, and Gambia through to the qualification. Africa forest elephant face growing risks of extinction. Ethiopia Prime Minister says Eritrea to withdraw troops from Senegalese activists release calls for exit of big French retail companies in the country to tell. Tanzania John Magufuli to be buried in his hometown of Chato. Thousands affected by fire in Sierra Leone slum, official warn. The former head of the state of Sierra Leone, Ernest Bar Kroma, was questioned Monday by Commission of Investigating Alleged Corruption and Investment Committee committed during his presidency. Two officials have said on condition of anonymity. Crowman 67 was questioned at a secret location after his hearing was cancelled twice for security reasons. A commission member said a member of Crowman office confirmed the hearing without further comment. About 32 people been killed and more than 60 wounded in a train crash. Video and footage of the incident in the southern province of Soha showed train carriage drained above a water canal. Egypt has suffered a frequent accident on its railroad system due in part to poor maintenance and lack of investment, according to the report from that country. Rwanda genocide report to focus on French link. Rwanda has long accused France of complicity in the 1994 killing of hundreds of Rwandans in Tutsis and Hutus in that part of the African continent. The British High Commission in Egypt has confirmed that a fire started during a UK-led exercise in Lubnuganga constituency, which is near a base hosting British troops. Reports of the dead elephants are being looked into as a matter of urgency by the British Army. Kenyan authorities and other people have said. It's added that the army exercise, which had been ongoing, have been paused, with all personnel now working to fight the fire. At least 5 elephants have died in a blaze that started on Wednesday night, the UK Daily Mail newspaper reported. Nigeria Islamic teacher held for stealing women's shoes. Police have arrested a 43-year-old Islamic teacher who allegedly looted women's shoes during a fire at a market in the northern state of Katsina. Local media report Mahamadou Abba is said to have been reported to the police by his wife when he brought the stolen goods home from a store then in the bedroom. Mr. Abba is among 34 mainly teenagers who were arrested for allegedly looting items such as babies, belts of clothes, household items, and generators during the fire. Kenya ministers order to take COVID vaccine jabs. Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta has instructed the entire cabinet and members of the executive office to take COVID-19 vaccination. The directive to lead by example was confirmed by the chief of staff in Kukai Wayata. The East African country is the midst of a deadly third wave of infections and reported its highest daily number of new infections on Wednesday. The doctor on Tuesday said the country had run out of ICU beds and has dealt with the surge, with the healthcare workers among those admitted at various hospitals. The country has so far confirmed more than 126,000 coronavirus infections and 2,092 deaths. The state burial of Tanzania former President John Magufuli is on the way in his northwestern hometown of Chato. Mr. Magufuli died late Wednesday after a mysterious absence of almost 3 weeks. The Tanzanian authorities say Mr. Magufuli, one of Africa's most prominent coronavirus skeptics, died from heart failure. His state funeral was held in the capital Dodoma on Tuesday. The manager of the South African mall has been suspended for attempting to deny admission to a shopper dressed in traditional ethnic dress. A video of the incident at a Bodo shopping center in Johannesburg showed the manager saying the traditional number attire was not decent. A fire started by British soldier training in Kenya could have killed elephant, prompting investigation by Ahmed Parin. British New Daily Mail has reported. The World Health Organization has called for a fairness in access to COVID-19 vaccine so as to improve vaccination in Africa. The WHO said that while vaccine has been delivered through the global partnership COVID, current global supply constraints could mean a critical proportion of people remain unvaccinated for months. So while so high income countries are seeking to vaccinate their entire population, many in Africa are struggling to sufficiently cover even the high risk gaps. Former South African President Jacob Zuma says he's ready to be jailed should the court decide so. In a lengthy statement on Thursday, Mr. Zuma explained why he has not appeared before a commission of inquiry looking into the corruption allegation against him. He denies any wrongdoing. Mr. Zuma says he has lost trust in South Africa's justice system. All I can say that I am not afraid of going to jail, as I would not unknown the apartheid system. However, I will not subject myself to an oppressive and unjust court system. On Thursday, the South African Constitutional Court reserved judgment and withheld decision in the contempt case against President Zuma. Ethiopia Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has said Eritrea has agreed to withdraw its troops from Tigray following a military offensive in the region that drew condemnation. Mr. Abiy Ahmed this week acknowledged for the first time that Ethiopian troops crossed the border after months of delay. He told the MPs that Eritrean forces came fearing they will be attacked by Tigray regional fighters. In a statement on Friday, the Prime Minister said discussion with Eritrea President Hassan Fikit has resolved that Ethiopian forces will take over guarding the border area effectively and immediately. Police in Liberia on Thursday charged and denied an official and detained an official of the main opposition party, Muhammad Ali, over his Facebook post. The authorities are linking the post to action attack at the headquarters of the National Elections Commission and home of an Associate Justice Supreme Court in Monrovia. Police spokesman Moses Carter told the BBC that Mr. Ali was charged with making terrorist threats, criminal attempt to commit murder, or criminal mischief. Sulfur policies and death on the road are likely to stop Guatemalan from trying to reach the U.S. Optimism as Cuba rolls out experimental vaccine. The job says in the representatives Cuba best hope of lifting the lockdown on the capital Savannah. The number of migrants crossing the U.S. border from Mexico has risen since Mr. Joe Biden took office. Biden tasked Harris with tracking border influx. Presumed daily COVID death passed 3,000 for the first time. The virus is spreading rapidly with many hospitals close to collapse, nearly 300,000 deaths in Brazil. Moving on. This is the EU shortstop of vaccine to ban at summit. The bloc tells Azerbaijan to honor its EU contract but backs global supply chains. Shannon by UK MP after Ubid abuse sanctions. 5 MP are among 9 Britons targeted by Shannon after the UK took action over human rights abuses. Shannon brands champion Zhejiang Black Shark growth. More Western brands have been targeted for sure concern over Ubid Fools labor crimes. Prince Albert II of Monaco have weighed in on the controversial interview that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle gave to Oprah Winfrey. Turkey president appeals controversy by quitting a treaty aimed against domestic violence. Yes, President Joe Biden press on migration as arrived. President Joe Biden press on migration at first news conference. More than 17,000 children are being kept in government-run detention center, according to estimates. New York finalized a deal to legalize cannabis. Officials said they hope that the new law will end the appropriate policy of minority groups. Death and property destruction are reported as the powerful storm brought better the softening U.S. state. USC to pay $1 billion. USC to pay $1 billion over abuse claim against George Tannen, a university professor. The University of Southern California have agreed to pay more than $1 billion to patients treated by former campus gynecologist accused of sexual abuse. It is the biggest sex abuse link pay out in higher education history. George Tannen was arrested in 2019 and charged with sexually assaulting 16 female patients. Allegation he denied. More than 350 women have spoken out about their experiences as patients of the gynecologist. Bullet shooting mental health hearing granted for suspects in that part of the United States of America. A man suspected of the shooting dead 10 people at a grocery store in Boulder, Colorado, has made his first appearance in court. The presiding judge said Ahmed Al-Hawadi Alaisa, 91, will remain held without bail as he granted a mental health hearing requested by a defense lawyer. The Syrian-born U.S. citizen is charged with 10 counts of first-degree murders. He did not enter a plea in the court. Israeli Prime Minister short of majority of vote counts ends. The outcome of the latest election hangs in the balance as final results show no clear winner. The world's biggest printing raises 45 million for charity. British artist Sir Jeffrey spent 8 months creating the work in isolation of the hotel in Dubai. Saudi Arabia proposed a Yemen peace plan, and the plan aimed at ending six brutal years of civil war, but rebels said it offered nothing now. Abu Dhabi to invest billions in British business. An Abu Dhabi investment fund agreed to pay 800 million into the UK life science, with more expected to follow. Saudi Arabia all giant seas profits for nearly 45%. Saudi Aramco makes less than expected, but will still pay returns to investors, including Saudi states. Millions around the world celebrate Parisian New Year, from celebration to COVID ones to farewell fire displays. It's been reported in that part of the world. Australian MPs sorry for shocking throwing of women. One woman said the government MP Andrew Langan comments hotline left her feeling suicidal. Saving Australian paradise cool first. A rare environmental on Australia law. Iceland have faced a complex battle for survival. Melbourne City Roha Dawson accepts emotional marriage proposal as she retires to care for her fiance. Some areas are seeing enormous amounts of rain in what it has called once in 200 years ever. At least 13 people have been killed in an ambush on the police convoy by a suspected criminal gang in central Mexico. The victims were all police officers and agents from the state prosecutor's office said. The ambush happened at Castro, a municipality in the state of Mexico. Images posted on the social media show bullet-rated police vehicles and bodies flying by the side of the road. Okay, folks, this is how I would like to welcome you to this wonderful, wonderful afternoon presentation of the Heat. As usual, it's Friday afternoon, and I'm sitting in for your usual host, Jay Natanabi. I've seen you on this wonderful Friday afternoon, the 26th day in the month of March. Welcome, folks, and let's have a jolly good time together. Very shortly, we'll bring you our hard talking segment on this wonderful day, and together we will certainly have your participation into this edition of the program, The Heat. So in the meantime, between time, let's take a breather and be right back.
From the Hot Power Studio, this is Cool 98.9 FM.
Records. Ah, boy.
MC exclusive beat.
Brabby, why you taking? Oh, man, picking anything. Okay, give my Brabby bottle water like drink. When I bottle water, I'm one of my big legs. Oh, Brabby. How can you know that you not know I put it? When you say answer, you might highly exclusive. That is sweet and short.
Welcome to our hard talking segment on this wonderful day. It's Friday. The weekend starts right now. But you know, there are a lot of trending issues. At long last, we know that Honorable Mo Ali has been released from detention for his social media post quite recently, of which he was sentenced. He was asked to go for questioning, and upon his arrival at the headquarters of the National Police on yesterday, was given a marching order to the Monrovia Central Prison, and later he's been released now with the instructions coming from the Justice Minister as well, talking about this issue that he needed to be released. But that went down. The Justice Minister, who is the Attorney General of Liberia, his order was ignored by the Inspector General of the Police on Thursday, ignored the call for the Minister of Justice, which happens to be to release opposition figure Mo Ali over lack of sufficient evidence to substantiate the charge of terrorism, criminal attempt to commit murder, arson, and terrorist threat. But that did not go down with the police. So he was still being held, and he was released earlier on today. So, well, folks, these are some of the trending issues. But what has taken over Liberia now has to do with this issue of Honorable WEEKIE Koloba, who now Honorable Thomas Fowler of District 5, a lawmaker of the CDC, have said the constant habit of Honorable Koloba of insulting or really insult at the presidency is unacceptable. So he asked his colleague, you listen to Honorable Fowler, he said he has spoken with this man in private, but he has not been able to listen. So for this reason, upon the return, because it's now, so Honorable Koloba has been suspended for 4 months. But there was this request of reconsidering the decision from a sitting and CDC lawmaker as well, Honorable Moses Akaragwe, who have asked his colleagues to reconsider the decision of suspending Honorable Koloba for 4 months without pay. And this decision comes back to the electorates. How educated, how informed you are to elect people. Because this is directly affecting district number 10. And we have asked times over, are our people educated in how to vote and who to vote, and how do they carry on investigation? Because this is not just with the issue of Honorable WEEKIE Koloba. There are a lot of lawmakers there. People care less about party line. Their personality. As far as they're concerned, these people should be elected because the party presented. And at the end of the day, the electorates are the ones who feel the pain. In the first place, did they properly scrutinize on the book? Did they check it back? He passed. This is a man who have always claimed that he was robbed of his younger days. His youthful day became a child so early. Grew up on his home. Did the electorates in District 10 take all of these things into consideration before you elect, or we are electing people? Because if you check a few years back, Honorable O.P. Roland Cooper of District 1, Makinde County, who also was a representative on the ticket of the CDC, was seen jumping on the decks of Honorable Alex Salah beating drum. We saw the political leader of Honorable, the political leader of the Liberty Party, Honorable Yomri Kanga, wasting water on the Massachusetts County Senator, Honorable Sir Joseph. We saw a senator who took breeze of alcohol into section, placed it on his deck, and when he was asked, he said, "Oh, he thought our energy drink." Are we checking properly our officials that we are electing, the electorates? If somebody's sitting somewhere around the world and reading the decision made by the Honorable House of Representatives, would they ask how did the people make the decision in district number 10? Was it a protest vote? Because that district was completely under the CDC, Honorable Julius Berry. The party chairman of CDC even contested in that district. He did not win. They chose Yeke. What went wrong? What is going wrong? Our electorates are now complaining. You make a decision in split second and you get affected. So if the lawmakers decide to say, yeah, we will stand with it, so there will be no issue discussed of the welfare and the people of district number 10. They will have to hold themselves responsible for a decision that was made. This is a lawmaker who has been in the news, in the open, raining insults at officials of government, including the president, but one of his colleagues saying that this thing needs to stop. Are we properly checking these people with the moral upbringing and how we get them into offices as electorates? Or we only look at the action now? There were a lot of individuals who were in the race across Liberia. Some of you today, you're complaining now. Political institutions, you are more. So the electorates, political institutions are not educating the people how to go and vote. They're more concerned about the votes. Who they present, you listen to Honorable Bitwari during the December 8th. He said, even if it is dogs, the CDC put on the ticket, vote. Look at the emblem, don't look at the individual. And we have seen these things happen. Now, it is not something that have become. You also listen to the U.S. Congressman who have said, President, we are government is corrupt and responsible for the high level of poverty people are faced with in this country because they're more concerned about wealth they can get for themselves. Representative Kanye West in Bakulu County was lashed at by the president because he mistakenly referred to the president as, president were Clyde Weir as Clyde Williams. And the president said he needed to correct that because he'd been married to his wife for over 20 plus years. And they are not divorced. That was one major concern. Let's read some of the comments coming in this afternoon on the program. Vani Aliu Pan Jr. say hi. My name is Vani Aliu Pan, watching from Duazon City, Margibi County. Chido say hi. FM Jeva watching you from Republic of Biafra. Jeva, your Muslim man, be a president of Liberia. If Liberia is a Christian nation, please, I want correct answer. Shalom. Well, the electorate will decide that. Joseph Kerman say, hello, cool family. Joseph, UK Kerman, watching you for Europe this wonderful afternoon. Cecilia Benson say, hi, my name is Cecilia Benson, and I'm watching you from the University of Liberia Fender campus. And Joseph Timber say, good afternoon, Mr. Brooks. And I'm Joseph F. Timbet watching from G0. Thanks for the show. See Batty Nicolins the second say good afternoon, Mr. Brooks, and I'm watching you from my comfort zone along the Somalia Drive. Thanks for the show. The Aram Patio say good afternoon, cool family. My name is Aram F. Patio and Junior. I'm watching you from Dangerous Community Supermarket to be Pacific, St. Michael Road. Ben Prosper Zota say good afternoon, Mr. Brooks, and I'm watching you live from Ganta, Nima County this afternoon. Nimland Johnson say good afternoon, WEEKIE Brooks, and I'm watching him. Grateful to the job well done. Thank you so much. Lawson Augusta Augustine Wisdom say good afternoon. My name is Lawson Augustine Sagasha Wisdom, joining this fascinating conversation from Cardwell, CPP Straw. I call him to him. Chris Joy writes, he said, good afternoon, Mr. Weekie Brooks, and I'm watching you from Ratline. My name is Chris George. Thank you for the program. It is Stevens Patrick. He said, Brooks, I'm watching from Tupo Tro, Bafta Fee. Thank you so much, Sylvester. Debbie Coward Jr. So good afternoon, Mr. Brooks. And I'm Sylvester Debbie Coward Jr. watching from Mount Barkley. Thanks for the program. Thank you so much, Sylvester. And Moses T-Boy Flomo Jr. said, good afternoon, Mr. Brooks. My name is Moses T-Boy Flomo Jr. As long as I'm live, I will always commit myself to always follow this informative program on Cool. This is the platform that always make my day. Ansu Colette said, good afternoon. My name is Asumana Colette. Join you from Right Like Mike. Patrick Bowen said, good afternoon, Mr. Brooks. And I'm watching you from Rehab Community, Cooper Fine. Star Kids said, good afternoon, Information Brooks. My name is Stephen F. Colba, and I'm watching you from Moses Black. Moses Black Soul Clinic. Thank you so much. Samuel Kalon said, following, watching from Pepline. Tenem Smith said, good afternoon, Mr. Brooks, and I'm watching you from my home, New Buchanan, Grand Bassa County. Thank you so much, Tenem, always joining the conversation. Moses Kappa said, this Moses Kappa watching from the Coopert Road, Dumba, it says, Dumba Fine. Ezekiel Kanga said, good afternoon, Mr. Brooks, and I'm watching live on Eric Pellet Time, District 6. Frederick Pay said, good afternoon, and I'm watching live from the Bow Time Community, Pinto City. Muna said, I'm watching. And this one comes from Wonder Boy. Testimony said, good afternoon, Mr. Historian Vi, and to the cool family. My name is Wonder Daniel Webb Jr. Do join your conversation from my comfort zone at Jacket Johnson, where the narrow curve is. Thanks for the fascinating topic on the discussion, and you make my day. Kudos. He said, Patrick August Foley said, good afternoon, Wiki. My name is Patrick August Foley, and I'm watching you live from Benton City View Camp Community. Prince Newell Jr. said, good afternoon, Mr. Brooks. My name is Prince Newell Jr., and I follow you from 2nd PA City, Nima County. Thank you for the show this afternoon. Thomas Side Johnson said, good afternoon, Wiki Brooks, and peace, loving people of Labrador. I'm Thomas Side Johnson, watching you from my comfort zone in Pinsville, Sinking community. And this one comes from Sebastian Murray said, good afternoon, Mr. Va, and I'm following from the seminary community there. So, folks, wherever you are, this is it. And let's take this break. As soon as we come back, we'll activate the phone lines, and you will have your say on some of the talking points as we're talking all of these things today. Yeke Calabar in the news once again. But we have now closed our eyes to the issue being said and discussed. Who's in charge of our country? The police director is not taking instruction from the Minister of Justice, who should be his boss. The Honorable Mo Ali should have been released because according to the Justice Minister, who is the Attorney General, there was not sufficient evidence to have in the team. But the police saw a post on the social media as something that risks the peace and stability of our country, so he needed to be kept behind bar. He was asked for questioning. When he got there, he was detained. So the Liberia National Police on Thursday ignored the call from the Minister of Justice and Attorney General to release opposition figure Mo Ali. According to the Justice Minister, who is a counselor, a legal man as well, he said, it lacks sufficient evidence to substantiate the charges of terrorism, criminal attempt to commit murder, arson, and terroristic threat. And Mo Ali happens to be the Secretary General of the former ruling party, Unity Party, who led this country 12 years under Africa's first democratic female elected president, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Mo was incarcerated at the headquarters of Liberia National Police over 2 Facebook comments, which the police believe can be linked to the recent arson attack on the home of Associate Justice Joseph Nangbe in the headquarters of the National Elections Commission. And we know exactly what it led to. And you heard in the news, colleagues of Honorable Yeke Calabar have made a decision to have him suspended 4 months without pay for a constant habit of raining insult on the president. And this is where we find ourselves as a country, as a people. The electorates in district number 10 have been told to ask themselves, with all of the candidates that were in the race, did they properly check? Electorates across Liberia, have you been able to check and see these people, what they did in the past, what they did in their private lives before election? Are they so temperamental? How people address people? And all of the fight. So for the next 4 months, if the elected, the lawmakers do not reconsider the decision, the matter and concern condition in district number 10 will not be on the floor for the next 4 months, because they will be absent of the fight that their lawmaker has been suspended for benefit. What level of education being provided to electeds? Are we voting for people based on what we just see from the physical appearance? Are we checking the backgrounds? And he was being clear to state to when he met the president sometimes back. Honorable Caldwell said, Mr. President, I'm not against you. You have done nothing to me, but your supporter, what have they done to avoid coming in contact with him? And he is now about to receive such a major punishment from his colleagues. He risks being expelled in the process. If this is persistently being repeated, he will be expelled according to the Standing Rule Article 48.7. So they have taken the action. This is where now we are. This is our country. We saw a political prisoner who was just released because this is a political figure. The government have boasted, no, we do not lack of political individuals who will speak up. He will call for questioning, and at the end of the day, he was sent. He spent a night behind bars. Even with the instruction coming from the Minister of Justice, who is a legal luminary, who sat in a whistle and said, but it was not sufficient enough. Got sort of feeling cognac even tofu. He was denying the process. But this is where we now find ourselves. Friday, welcome to the heat. It's now time we bring you your participation this Friday. Stick to the topic. Make sure you lower the volume of the radio, please, and be precise and be to the point. Let's talk to our callers on the line. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You're welcome.
This is Matthew G.
Okay, our very, very regular female callers these days. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's hear you.
All right, I want to first of all address Moali's issue. If it comes to Moali issue in this community or in this country, personally with this government, we find that this government is doing witch hunting. With no reason, everybody post something in the board, and you call a person for caution and the person do a treatment. And then you don't have suspicious evidence as the lawyer called you and told they should send electric WEEKIE for them. And now leaving to other be expelled because if you stay out of section for 4 months, what become of the people? It might raise the position. So let us have some consideration of what they are about to do. Not to put the electric and constitution at risk. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's talk to you. The colors you like.
Good afternoon, Mr. Brown.
Good afternoon. Let's hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, this is one of you going
Okay, let's hear you.
Thank you for this discussion. For me, my attention has been due to the issue of police and police, including that of the justice minister. Or not, we saw this in cases with that of manufacturer the way, and it came to no understanding. The issue of the police in this country arresting people, it cannot come to a very, very good understanding. What am I trying to say? Or more reason, the congressman just laughed at the government. He pointed out the issue of human rights issue. I think it was from that perspective. He knows from 2 days after he see the police going on arresting or opposition state actor to jail for no reason in the minister only released a that of the RG refusing to release it. We don't know what they're going to tell it to. The police cannot listen to their boss because the RG should know that the justice minister is the direct boss. So that they cannot listen to each other. Where we the common people, where are we heading to? Is that we see us in the country? That's my point.
Thank you so much for making your point. Let's talk to other colors you like.
Can you bring for him a kind of vibe? My name is Moses Slewin. I saw this conversation from page 6. 70 Jacob Avenue. But my intention has been due to Mo Ali. But about 2016 March 4th, if you read more, if you read what Mo Ali post at that time, but I'm not about no actually let me real in every speech.
2016, what did he say? No, you talk about 2016 because Mo Ali, 2016 President Ellen Johnson said he was still president, and Mo Ali was then a member of the Unity Party. So maybe what did he say? What he said? No, you talk about 2016. Let's talk about other colors you like. Thank God we're here.
Yeah, this is Amos, and I've been joining them and cover the rest of this morning.
Amos, go ahead, Chief.
The issue of the care, that will come out a little bit. It is for 2 months to the president of the care. You see, when someone is after president for you, they are all you actually people to that particular president. When the care are insulted the president, anything, and you feel like nothing will come for our dad. So I like the decisions, the government take against him. So if they don't move on there, you know that what president, no matter what you work with, you feel that you there will be due respect to one soul when you are there in charge as a person. So the legal aspects are told against the chair were very good, and I treat for that. The chair will be able to pay respect whatever comes in the house. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment. Let's talk to the scholar you like. To the scholar you like.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is John Mahal and I'm calling from Johnson City.
You're welcome.
Yeah, my attention has been due to the Mo Ali issue.
Okay, go ahead.
This is a we hunt from the government of Liberia for detaining Mo Ali because they don't have no evidence to detain Mo Ali on his Facebook page.
But in the first place, was government even wrong or inviting him to make clarity on posts that he had on social media?
No, they were not wrong, but they don't have sufficient evidence to detain him for that net. And they respected the justice minister. So we talk to them at least to pay attention to our government and also to our government officials. Let's the country be our.
Thank you so much. Let's talk to other callers you like.
Good afternoon, WEEKIE.
Good afternoon. You're welcome.
This is the board of sales of the Oracle Napoli from Rehab District 6.
Okay.
So, which I want to speak to the issue of Mo Ali. Which I think I will get people in life. Say our parents say, is the same thing you do to your parents, your children will do the same to you. Nothing much Mo Ali said that people that this current government when they are opposition that they don't pay. What they didn't do. Sometimes when you do things to people and then you get there, and I'm going to do the thing to you. The government need to have a very thick skin. Because you continue jailing people, you don't intimidate people in such manner. Do the working. No matter how the people do things, once you work illegal on the people, opposition do what, opposition say what, the people will take care of you. But the government is using the work. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your input. Let's talk to other callers you like.
Good morning, good afternoon,
Good morning. Let's hear you.
Okay, my name is Wilson. We'll call for Central Monrovia. So we give a comment that there do any Virginia, what I call it for nowadays. So we will not encourage what I call it for the other side. For the government, it is everything I call to the past Virginia. We saw people doing cancer around. There are protests going on. We saw them carrying on clothes. So it was not we saw them. So they just trying to tell us that even okay, it's a many that came for the president of
Let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm calling Jay calling my niece from America.